Welcome to Cranky Live, the show where bold minds meet real talk. This isn't your average sports or news show. It's where we break down sports, culture, and controversy with facts, fire, and fearless honesty. Here, truth cuts through the noise, and hype gets exposed. From football to track and field, from world issues to local debates, we ask the tough questions, speak without fear, and go deeper than the headlines. We don't follow the crowd, we set the trend. While others recycle the same tired takes, we bring fresh insight, unfiltered analysis, and bold perspectives. No echo chambers, no puppet talk, just real conversation for people who think for themselves. Listen with your brain, not just your ears. Think critically, question boldly, and speak freely. This is Cranky Live, where reason rules the mic and truth always win. Come on, let's get into it. Good night. Bless up, Flash Q. Hey, Flash Q, let me know if you can hear me. Sorry, Flash G, U4U. Let me know if you can hear me. I'm gonna make sure I'm coming across clear as daylight. Good evening, everyone. Good evening. Welcome back to the show. You're watching U20 versus Cayman. I have no comment. I didn't know Bonnier and Cayman and Turks and Caicos play football. I can't watch them game there. I was watching the U20 play the other day. Like I was watching the U17, and I turned it off after 15 minutes. And it sounds very, very critical because they beat up Turks and Caicos a lot, and Bonnier they won 3-0. But it's just the football, and maybe I'm a football elitist, regardless of the level. That we have to be able to pass the ball to the person who was on the same jersey that you have on more than one time. Not two passes and you lose the ball. So I didn't watch enough of the game to see it, but hopefully they win and hopefully they get to the next round and then get to the World Cup. I hear some arrogance coming out of some people in the JFF about what they're doing, and they should be pleased with making the World Cup for the under-17. As I said, the kids have athletic ability. The coaching needs significant improvement. When I watch the under-17 play, I don't want to digress from the topic side this evening, but I'll do so now. Bless up, Maurice. I was very disappointed, especially in the second half against Canada. We were just kicking the ball down the field. We won 3-1, but you'd be very surprised if you came from Mars and watched team play and understand how football play, that we won 3-1 because we weren't keeping the ball second half. I don't think we made 3 passes in the second half in that game. And we got to the World Cup, and people in JFF beat them chests, and they should be proud. But there should be some sense of being a little bit humble in that the football needs significant improvement. The kids have athletic ability. The kids have certain skills, but technically, a lot needs to be desired. There's a lot to be desired. Bless up, Warren Master. And we have to be honest, because I think what happens, and I heard, I'm always mentioning his name, but I shouldn't. I heard this radio announcer in Jamaica was talking about how impressive he was, and the kids are this, and they have great players, and this. And yeah, they have some good players on the team, but they need coaching. And I heard the new JFF coach said the person I'm talking about was one of the top 5 minds in football in Jamaica. So like, there's not a lot of football minds on the island. That person talk football, and them know what them know. Trust me. I didn't come here to beat anyone. I come here to talk football. 3 main topics: Champions League, EPL, Reggae Boyz. I have some updates on the Reggae Boyz to talk about. But I want to go Champions League first and EPL. But I'm pleased that there's so much football being played. I want to make a comment actually about something. I think FIFA has been doing a much better job of being inclusive with the football. What do I mean? So they now they have increased the number of teams in the World Cup to 48 from 30 something, right? 32, whatever the number was. And they're going to keep that 48 team going forward. So more teams have more opportunities to participate in the big tournament and get part of those proceeds derived from this tournament, more countries. Even though there's a disproportionate number of European and South American teams, but they probably want to say they do it based on capabilities, and fine. But more CONCACAF teams. I think CONCACAF will have 6 opportunities going forward versus the traditional. They used to have 3. Now it's been almost doubled, right? Even though we have 3 host countries this year, CONCACAF have a chance to get 8 teams in. If Suriname and Jamaica get through, it's 8 teams, which is really, really good. They've also done the under 17 every year, which is really, really good. And they've also expanded the pool of under 17, so more teams have a chance to get in. And now they're going to have under 15 World Cup. Not sure what the frequency is going to be. I'd assume it's every year also, which is going to take some financial challenges for those smaller countries, and FIFA should help with that. That's a really good thing. So more kids get more exposure at an earlier age. And my hope is that for all these countries, they would have gone through what the JFF is trying to go through, which is a coaching program to educate and inform and uplift their coaching in their countries, which will be disseminated and provided to the kids, who can then leverage that to really improve the football. I mean, you do need infrastructure, and hopefully the government, if it has the resources, can contribute. But I do think it's very, very important for the kids to get an opportunity, especially those with athletic ability, to maximize that ability versus, you know what, sort of fading away. Bless up Chris Smith. So that's a good thing. So let me jump into the topics, because I'm not going to stay long. I have a really bad cough, and it's been knocking my butt. Whenever I get a cold, when I had a cold like a week and a half now, the next week I cough incessantly for some reason. Don't ask me why. But too much information, but if you hear me go silent for a little bit, you know something's happening. So Champions League. So the Champions League first round, you know, the new format, people complain about it. I think it's actually been good. Creates more excitement and generate more money. The more teams you have, the more money you generate, because you have more matches, more gate receipts, more TV, more. And in the first round, there was some interesting game. I was watching the Galatasaray against Juventus game. Imagine you leading a team 3-0 in the first leg. Granted, you play at home. You're playing the second leg. They're down to 10 men, and they come back and score 3 goals. Amazing. But Galatasaray overcame. They overcome Juventus, and they move on. Tottenham, who was in 16th place in the Premier League, they were 4th in the Champions League, and now they have a tough draw. We'll go through all the teams, because it's important to realize that this next round is going to love it. If you're a football aficionado, if you're a football addict, like I am sometimes, but it depends on what type of football, then you're going to love this. Kyle says, are you saying you rate the coaching program? Do you rate the coaches? You said, yes, whom? No. I'm saying that you need to start with the program. I heard the new GenSec speaking the other day. And at least he was very articulate. He was very thoughtful. What he said, at least a little, I know about football. Okay, you know my YouTuber, I don't know football. Talking about formation, system, principles, all made sense based on my readings and understanding. And it seemed like we'll have somebody in the seat, if given the support, who will make a difference. The technical director role, that means you're the governance, you own not the governance, you own the football. You own the implementation and effectuating the style of play, system of play, football principles, how it should work. And he spoke really, really well about some of this when he was interviewed by 876, I thought it was. Even though I thought 876 talked too much. In my interview, I might interview himself at the same time. But he did a good job of being prepared for the interview and having a conversation. And I think it's a start. You have to start someplace. Am I happy that we went to Trinidad, and Trinidad is where we were using this as a money-making program in terms of coaching? No, but it's like when you take GCE or I'm dating myself, or CXC. The core curriculum is the same. The question, who are the teachers and who are the students? Right? And if you are a smart student, you learn. And you'll be able to, and if you're a smart teacher and student, because you're a student when the teacher is a student in the classroom, and then go disseminate information to the pupils or the kids or the players, then if you can communicate really well, if you can learn and communicate and make sure on the playing field it materialized, then yeah, it's a good thing. So it's not somebody individually, it's conceptual how this works. Bless up, Conrad. Thanks for being here. So I am happy that Jamaica started something. From I hear Rudolph speak, I guess he's the architect of it. So kudos to him. And here's another thing too, as I mentioned Rudolph, because I don't want to get to my feelings, and I'll get to that. We'll get to it when we get to Jamaica football. But when I talk about Jamaica football, people, I'm gonna call it like I see it. If we do well, you're gonna get flowers. If you don't do well, you're gonna get criticism. If you don't like it, I can't help you. That's the nature of the beast. If you don't like it, leave the public space. Too hot for you. Okay? Now that goes to yours truly too, because I'm getting a lot of pushback. But sometimes the pushback I'm getting, to me, and obviously when you get the pushback, you can always find some issue with it. I know there's one kid, what's his name, that has his channel. He's in Denmark someplace. Made some rude comment that he said Rudolph said about me, which wasn't true. Also, I hear he's called my name in a bunch of chat. He's insignificant. He has some mental problems. He needs to go see the shrink. That's all I'll say. Because I keep telling people, if you come at me hard, I'm going to come back hard. That's all I'll say. But let's go to Champions League. Don't come hard, people. If you come correct. We can have a conversation. If you come in just to come sake, I'm going to come hard, we can have the conversation too. You ain't going to like it. So Champions League run of 16. And here are the teams. Hopefully that's clear as day. It sets up brilliantly for this round coming up. Brilliantly. So PSG going to play Chelsea. And they haven't looked that hot. PSG hasn't looked that hot in the first round, actually. They got by Monaco, but they weren't that great. Liverpool will play Galatasaray. So if you look at the two branches, I think Arsenal has the easier route to try to get to the semifinal or the final, frankly. You have one zone with Man City, Real Madrid, Bayern Munich, Liverpool, Chelsea, PSG. That's the group of debt. That column is a group of debt. Column to the left or to your right. The next column, Barcelona. Atletico is always difficult. Arsenal is in the better column. And if Arsenal can't get to the final from here, even Barcelona, then we don't deserve to be in there. We don't deserve it. Now, if we go from left to right, I would expect that's going to be a tough for PSG with Chelsea because you don't know which Chelsea is going to turn up. If you can get their team together, I know that Cucurella is out, but if they had Cucurella and Fafana of the world, their defense is a challenge. They have a good midfield with Fernandez and Caicedo and what's his name? Santos now in that midfield playing really well. I want Abdullavia. He just disappeared. He's injury prone. He's like crocked. And then up front, they have a good forward line, right? Neto and Esteval and Pedro. They have a good team. They can give any team a lot of trouble. And they're playing on Sunday, so we'll see how that works out. Flash G says Team Chelsea playing like trash. They're going through growing pains. They're young. They're going through growing pains. But remember, Chelsea beat Barcelona 3-0 at Chelsea. No, so you never know which Chelsea is going to turn up. Galatasaray against Liverpool, that's also a tough game. Liverpool has not played. Liverpool's been winning by the skin of their teeth, as people would say. They're barely winning. They're not winning a lot. Right? Liverpool's not winning a lot. They're barely winning. So don't know about Liverpool and Galatasaray. Galatasaray, I mean, Osimhen is a good player. Galatasaray have a lot of recycled Premier League player. With Sanchez from was at Tottenham. What's the kid that play for Arsenal, play midfield? Name is eluding me. From Uruguay. But it's going to be interesting to see what happens in that game because I don't think Liverpool has been hot at all. Now, the tie of the round 16 is going to be Real Madrid against Man City. Actually, unless they get back Bellingham and Mbappe, I cannot see Real Madrid beating Man City. I just can't. And Mark Guy is at Man City. And Diaz is back. Guardiola's still out. Riley's playing out of his skin. The forward line is going to be a tough out for Real Madrid to get by Man City. If Man City doesn't walk across Real Madrid, it's because Pep did something crazy. Has to be. Because I just think that Man City is a much better team. Much, much better team. So we'll see what happens there. And then you have Bayern against Atalanta. But then whoever comes through the Real Madrid, Man City, have to play Bayern. We beat Bayern in the open round, but I thought they dominated us in the first half. We couldn't get close to the ball in the first half when we played them. We weren't close to the ball at all. And obviously, the second half, we came to and scored some goals, but I was very impressed with Bayern. Very, very impressed with Bayern. So I would be curious to see how that worked out. If Man City get through, what that mean? Right? If Man City get through and they get by, if Man City gets by Real Madrid, that game in Bayern gonna be fire. Man City have a lot of big games because they're playing us in the Carabao Cup. They're also playing us, in April in the league. So there's a lot of big games for Man City. If you go to the right, Newcastle, Barcelona, I think there's a toss-up. Barcelona have a lot of firepower up front. They just don't play defense. Their defense is awful. Like awful. Not even bad, it's just awful. So we'll see how that works out. Atletico Madrid is going to be who they are. Tottenham, if they get their people back, they should be okay. I know Pedro Porro's coming back. And a few more people coming back, but they lost a lot of people. Richarlison came back for the Arsenal game, but didn't start. So they need their players back. I think they had like 12 first-team players out. If they get some of their player back, they'll compete. I expect Atletico Madrid to overcome them, though, but they should be able to compete. And then we have Bodo Glimt, who's been a surprise of that first round. I think they had to beat Man City playing Sporting. Sporting is always a good team. And Arsenal against Leverkusen. I expect us to get by Leverkusen. I expect us to get by whoever is in Bodo Glimt Sporting outcome. And then I expect us to get by whoever win that previous round zone between Newcastle, Barcelona, Atletico, and Tottenham. So I expect Arsenal to get to, frankly, the final. It'll be tougher in the final. I think the final is going to be Arsenal, Bayern, actually. Arsenal, Bayern, or Arsenal, Man City, one of them. Now, I wouldn't say we're going to win it, but I think we should get there because I don't think Barca's defense is good enough to overcome us. So it should be really interesting after that. I'm loving the Champions League. I am going to be watching a lot of these games. The only bad thing about the Champions League is when there are 3 or 4 games on at the same time, 3 or 4 games on simultaneously, it makes it a little bit challenging. And sometimes you want to watch all those games and you just can't. But it should be really, really interesting. And Premier League is playing next week too. So not only playing this weekend, but playing next week also. But I can't wait for Champions League to come. Yeah. Flash says Bodo is my dark horse. Yeah, they you know something? When I see teams like Bordeaux, I think about Jamaica and say, if Bordeaux can play that well from Norway, a very small population. I know Norway has more resources, but athletically, we are, I'm not going to say we are superior, but just innately better athletically. We just need to learn the technical component of the game. And Norway is not a big country. So if we can learn the technical component of the game and apply it really well, we should be able to develop a lot of good footballers. So the coaching classes that the JFF put in, I do think those classes will help quite a bit. Okay. Jamaica should beat this team, people. I mean, it'd be really bad if Jamaica just don't walk in, man. It'd be really sad, actually. They're not that good. None of those countries have gotten to place in football where you would deem them to be competition for Jamaica. And I hear some people in JFF talking about what they do in CONCACAF. No. What we're doing is in the Caribbean. The under 17 got through, beat Canada, so they're in the World Cup, and it's kudos to them. But most of our accomplishments have been in the Caribbean, not the entire CONCACAF region, because obviously the Caribbean is part of CONCACAF. We have to be able to compete, even though we're smaller size, with the Panamas and Costa Rica and US and those teams, and Mexico. You know, the dominant teams in the region are Mexico and the US. We have to be able to compete with them. Costa Rica was there one time, but they're old. Their senior team have gotten old, and they haven't really brought through enough talent to take over. So that was the Champions League. Really love this setup. And frankly, the way we are playing, even though we drew with Wolves, we're in a good spot. Gokares scoring goal. If Gokares can go off, and you know I'm not the biggest Gokares fan in terms of his movement, but he can shoot. There's one thing, he has two rockets for two. I'm saying I have two right foot. He can shoot with his left foot. He has two rockets. Hopefully the rockets get launched. Now let's go to the Premier League. Let me remove this. So this is a Premier League standing. As you can see, Arsenal has, I should refresh this. This is not right. I need to refresh this because Villa played today and they lost, right? So we have 61 points, 5 ahead of City. City has a game in hand. So we're basically 2 points ahead of City because they're going to beat Leeds this weekend. And we may lose or draw with Chelsea, frankly, even though I'm picking us to win. And then you have Aston Villa, who've just gotten 5 points in the last 15. They have lost today. They drew the last game. So Villa is struggling. They have a lot of injuries. I see Bailey playing for Villa. If Bailey wasn't playing in the Premier League and had a name, I would struggle to put him into my team for Jamaica. He just looks lost. I mean, he's getting game time too. He's starting games. He's coming off the bench. He's just ineffective. He's not doing anything. Very ineffective. Very ineffective. And that's not the Bailey 2 years ago where people were talking about going to Arsenal on the Big Six team. I have no idea what happened. But he has regressed significantly. Significantly. And I watch him play, and I think I mentioned that the other day. Was it on Monday when I did the show in real estate? I forgot when I mentioned it, but the commentator was saying that, when they went out to 10 men, they lost a man. He basically says, "Oh, you got to make a change, take off Bailey." He didn't even hesitate. He didn't even think about the rest of the other players. He just and he was right in his assessment and who should be removed, but he got to change. Villa's gonna get rid of him. You're gonna find himself falling out of the top 6 league because it's not working so far. It's not working. But if you look at the standing, look at Man U, people. Man. Now, the general consensus in football is that from a general coaching perspective, coach contribute 20 to 30% for winning, right? In football game. That's the general consensus. I would say that's probably more international football. I think for club football, that number could change dramatically. And even though this may be an aberration, Michael Carrick at Man U, look where Man U is. Man U is in 4th position, probably will go 3rd if they win the game this weekend, right? Because they have a better goal average than Aston Villa if they win. Look where Man U was 7-8 years ago when Amarin was here. So it does show you that us hiring the man with the brolly was a huge mistake. And we're going to get to that, people. That was as bad as it gets. Because I think what Michael Carrick can show you, first of all, what Michael Carrick has done is this. He's saying, I am not going to just stick to one thing. He probably spent some time assessing the team and determine what was required. He put Kobe Mainoo on the field and he put people in the right position. And even when Doku He got injured. He put in the Brazilian, and it's just like Konya, and it's just business as usual. They just beating Subs team, right? They beat us. They beat Man City. They just rolling teams. Last game they struggled, but they're rolling teams, right? So at the end of the day, a coach can make a difference, and I think you saw that with Carrick. Now, when we touch on the Jamaica thing, you're gonna say, "Well, the new coach from Jamaica, will he make a difference?" Also, Must Win says, "Hey, Cranky, definitely say that Arsenal going to win the league. I dare you." I think Arsenal can win the league. I think Man City can win the league. So here's what I think is going to happen. And I'm going to get grief for this. I think come next month, this is my prediction, my prognostication, that the EPL and Man City will come to an agreement about the 115 charges being held against them. They'll get deducted some points, and we'll just walk the title. That's my view. Because we are what? We are 10 points ahead of Villa. We're 10 points ahead of the next rival. So if Man City lose points, I don't see us losing 3 games for the rest of the season. We could draw some games. And Man U won't continue to win at the rate they're doing. So, yeah. So we'll win by default. That's the view. But we should have beaten Wolves. That was a really bad goal to give up. We make too much mistake. We made mistake against Man U. We made mistake. I'm talking about simple mistake. We make mistake in football all the time. Simple mistake. But let's go back to the EPL. We have a lot of games coming up this weekend. So as you can see, we're in first. Man City second. They're 5 points behind us. Villa 10 points behind us. Manchester United, they're about 14 points behind, or 13 points behind, but they have game in hand. So does Chelsea, who's at 45 points. So it's a 2-horse race for the title to me. And Man City is going to be hard to chop down because they're getting players back and they're in a good place. And they bought well in January. Flash G said, Cranky, when Reggae Boyz done the new Bob uniform, we'll see. And uniforms can't help us now. You have to go down and play. So we can't do the uniform thing. Liverpool's at 45 points. So Liverpool is 16 points behind us with a game in hand. So is Chelsea, Man U 13, Aston Villa. We've only lost 3 games all season. And the 3 games we lost against Liverpool, it was a screamer. Against Villa, it was a last-minute goal. And who else we lost? And against Man U, we gave away the first goal. So we haven't been dominated in any game. Maybe the only team that gave us the hardest time, frankly, has been Wolves. The first game we played them, they scored 3 goals. We got 2. And the last game, they drew with us. And they played well today to beat Villa. So the Premier League, to me, is the toughest league. I was arguing with a friend of mine about that. So the Spanish league is more technical, blah, blah, blah. I was like, no, the Premier League, to me, is a very difficult league, and in any day you can get beaten. Don't count out Liverpool. I am not counting out Liverpool because I'm not counting them at all. I can't count on somebody I'm not counting. Liverpool got lucky last when they beat Nottingham Forest, last-minute goal. Come on, Liverpool is not in this. Their acquisitions have not worked the way they thought. Ekitike, Issa, Wirtz hasn't worked out as well. They probably need to improve their midfield and their wing play, frankly. So matches this weekend coming up. Let's see the matches. So we're going to have Bournemouth against Sunderland. Should be a good game. Burnley, Brentford. Burnley still... Even the team at the bottom are fighting. Wolves beat Villa and drew with us. And they're out of it. They're going to be relegated. Liverpool, West Ham. West Ham has been playing really, really well. So that should be an interesting game. Do I expect Liverpool to win? Newcastle, Everton, that's a tough game. Newcastle getting some people back, so they should be able to win that. Leeds, Man City, I expect Man City to walk that game. Even though the game's at Leeds, we went there and brushed them off. So I don't think they're going to be troubling Man City. Brighton against Nottingham Forest, that's on Sunday. That should be a good game. Nottingham Forest is desperate. They want to avoid relegation. And Brighton, who won recently, They have a good team. They're very good young players. Fulham Tottenham is an interesting game. Tottenham in 16, 29 points. If they get their players back, they should be okay, but they're in trouble. But I think when they got Richarlison back, if I was a coach, I'm playing Richarlison out wide. I'm playing Solanke in the middle. Even though I'm going to say Colomani has been playing well. And I have Javi Simmons in a 10. I think that's how they should run it. Romero may come back after the next game, so they probably should be okay. If they have the players back and Porro is also back, they should be okay. Manchester United, Crystal Palace, that should be a tough game. And then we play Chelsea. When we played them last at their place in the Carabao Cup, they scored 2 on us. After we're comfortable 3-0. And then at our place, they came out very conservative. So let's see what happens next time. Let's see what happens when we play them on Sunday. But that's a full suite of games. I would expect us to, the question for Arsenal is, I know some of you want to hear about your team, but who will we start? Do we start Odegaard? Havertz supposed to be coming. Do we start Havertz? The other day he played Saka in the 10 against Wolves, which to me makes no sense. Aka played well, but Madueke is too inconsistent. I think Eze, even though Eze hasn't had the best season, and even though he scored 5 goals against Tottenham, it wasn't. What you look at Eze is the touches, the subtle touches in tight spaces. When he's playing free-flowing football, he's a joy to watch. I did a piece on Eze once. I was doing some research on him. He's just a brilliant footballer. His control, his passing. And Arteta made a mistake not playing him against Wolves because in the Wigan game, even though it's Wigan and, they're Wigan, they get beaten, right? But the passes he made to Madueke, a look-away pass, 30 yards between the line, beating 4 defenders on the ground. As I said, Jamaica, them things in the normal. They're normal. And the pass he made with the left foot to Martinelli, those are not normal passes, people. Odegaard has it in locker, but Odegaard doesn't score goals. And the difference between Odegaard and Odegaard and Eze is this is that Odegaard likes to go deep to go touch the ball, and he looks pretty and he turns, and Eze is much more direct. So we'll see what happens. People say Zuman is our best player. Nah, I don't think Zuman is our best player. Arsenal have a lot of good players. I don't think we have a best player. If we look at our squad, Gabriel, Saliba, Timber, Rice. What are we going to say? Saka. We're going to say is our best player. You can't say the best player is Zubimendi. He's a good player, but I don't think Zubimendi. He scored 5 goals this season. Odegaard don't score 1. He keeps it ticking, right? I like how CDM will just keep it moving. Get the ball, position yourself, be in the right place. But I think defensively he can be challenged. He's very, very slow, so he can't chase down everyone. But you should need to. Your defense should be behind you. But he's a very good player. And he looks even more brilliant for Spain because they play the tiki-taka football. Everybody knows where they're supposed to be, and that's how they grew up, that's how they learn. What Jamaica needs to do. But he's a very good player. But let's see what happens with Zubimendi because people tell me that he's better than Partey. I don't think he's better than Thomas Partey. I don't see him drop a shoulder and lead players behind him to create space. He's a good passer. He does a good job defensively, even though he's a small stature, but he's not a Kante to cover ground. He doesn't cover ground that well. He's very cerebral in his approach for the game. So let's hope we continue to play well. We're in all 4 competition, right? And we're in really good position. In the Champions League, we should get to the last 8 without sweating too much. In the Premier League, if we can hold off City, the other day we were almost 9 points up, and now we're scrambling to stay ahead of them. But we'll see what happens. We'll know come Sunday whether or not they're 5 points behind or they're 2 points behind. Or they're 4 points behind. We'll see. When I have time, I watch a Jamaica game. Tree Love. I did. That's a good thing. Good thing. Can't criticize them. As I said, I hope Jamaica continues to win and play well. And hope some of these kids can matriculate to the senior team because we don't seem to have that really well. Right? And I see Drew Ross in the chat. Drew, you must be beside yourself given how well Man U is doing. If you're a Man U fan, people, 6 weeks ago, you're like, Amarin gotta go. We're floundering. We're way behind. all of a sudden, you're not only competing for Champions League place, you're thinking about being in top 3, top 2. Because I think the UK will have 5, England will have 5 teams in the Champions League next year, as they did this year, given how well the coefficient is and how well they're playing. Because you have 5 English teams in the last 16. And I think after this 16, you may have 1 or you could have 4. It all depends. Yes, we got a brilliant draw. We're not complete. That's what happens when you win all your games in the first round. That's what happens. You get the best draw. So we work for it. Not just say it's better than Partey. It's the main reason we have not totally fallen apart. Partey struggling when it mattered most. I totally disagree. You know when Partey was shown important? When the first PSG game, when he got a yellow card and he couldn't play one of the PSG game. That's how we struggled. Right? And we didn't play double pivot with Partey. Here's what people are missing when they're assessing the football. We play a double pivot with Zubimendi. That's why Rice is not far enough ahead. When we play with Partey, it's a single pivot. So Rice is much deeper playing with Zubimendi versus when he's playing with Partey, he plays way up the field. That's why he got more shots. That's why he got more goals. He got more opportunities. People seem to miss these things, which may not be easy to spot, but this concept and this idea that he's better than Partey, I'm not buying that. I played better than Partey. I know what Partey is now. I think he's playing well in Spain. He got life situation he's struggling with, but yeah. Cranky, time if you watch Nick's pregame, Jamaica have this covered. Yeah, no, I'm watching Nick's game if it's still on when I finish this stream, actually. But my Knicks are, I don't want to talk about my Knicks. When we gave a 5 first-round pick for Bridges, we cost ourselves any chance of winning any title anytime soon. That was a dumb trade. One of the dumber trades they have in football. It's like trading injury-prone Davis for Luka. Those things make no sense. You wonder if people talk about how they're so great people and they're this and you're a YouTuber and they'd make some decision, you just scratch your head. All right. So that's football. But Drew Ross, I don't think he's better than Partey, and he also makes a lot of mistakes. Yeah, he's not better than Partey. When people say that, I have to laugh. He's not better than Partey. He's not. People underestimate Partey. I mean, Arteta loved Partey so much, he played him when he was injured. That's why he destroyed him for like a whole year and a half. I watched a small part of that game. You know what, people? This is going to sound really bad. Really bad. But you know sometimes when you're exposed to excellence, this is going to sound really arrogant. Jesus. I'm going to say it anyway. You know when you're exposed to excellence and you have certain expectation? It wasn't the players. They were playing decent. I couldn't listen to the commentators last night. My ears were killing me. I turned them off. I could not listen to the commentators, people. On the basketball. They were horrible. I'm sorry. They were horrible. Maybe because you're used to excellence and then you hear them and you're just like, made me cringe. This sounds really bad and it's very critical, but I'm sorry. I couldn't listen. Maybe I should have just turned the TV down and watch a game. And Jamaica was leading by 2 points in the first half, and then obviously Bahamas always have a good team though. So yeah. Flash G, stop. Flash G, don't let me get angry with you. Don't say that. He's a decent player. 5 first-round picks is heresy. If we didn't give up those picks, we would have gotten the Greek freak by now. You give up, and one of them is unprotected, like 27, 29, and unprotected pick from Milwaukee, and they would have won by their pick. Come on. Crazy. It's heresy that we did that. But anyway, I don't want to go into basketball. Let me go to Jamaica. I'm not staying on long tonight, people. This is an hour show. I plan to be an hour. Yeah, I think the Knicks should bench Bridges and play, what's his name, Shamar? That they were doing when he first came back from a shoulder injury. I think they should bench Bridges. Man, take bad shot. He's inconsistent. His defense is up and down. Get rid of him. No, please. He's a rotation player. They only got him because Brunson and Art probably pushed for him. So Brunson owns that because he destroyed his ability to win a title. That 5 first-round pick was a Giannis pick. But anyway, too much basketball. All right, Flash G. We can agree to disagree. As long as we're doing it in a very respectful way, we can agree to disagree. I respect your opinion, but I disagree with you. I've been watching the Knicks for a long, probably before you were born. But anyway, and we're not winning anything this year. Bronson playing too selfish. He hasn't changed his game. I don't know why am I digressing to basketball? Let's get back to football. Get back to football. So Arsenal, Man U, Villa, Man City, Liverpool, Chelsea. 6 teams fighting for 5 spots. I think it's going to come down to Liverpool and Chelsea fighting for that last spot. Villa, they don't get people back. They may be fighting down there too because Villa looks suspect. They're challenged because they have too many injuries. Tillemans, they have Kamara's out for the year. They have 4 or 5 key injuries. It's a problem for them. Drew Ross said a lot of potential come from Villanova when he was with the Phoenix Suns, but I think that window. Yeah, I mean he's a high. He plays every game. Maybe you should take a whole rest of the season off. It's 3-point. You guys are. I'm digressing again, people. Let me stay with the football. You want to start me on the Knicks, and that's why I don't even watch the Knicks. That's why I'm doing the Knicks watch along because I'm just not happy. I don't think Mike Brown is a problem. I didn't mind them getting rid of Thibodeau because he overplayed players. They got Bailey. They got barely. He's barely contributing. That's what I see that. It sounds mean, me say that, but he's barely contributing. He's been a shell of the Bailey who was playing 2 years ago. A shell. We don't have it unlocked, people. The cities front Cherokee, Harlan, Semenyo, Doku, Foden, and then this kid Riley coming from nowhere can play anywhere on the field. Come on. City's in a great spot, and we're going to be challenged to overcome them. Very difficult to overcome them. All right, let's go to Jamaica football. We have about 20 more minutes left in the program. I'm not staying long today, people. So let me just say this, a couple of things. Is Jamaica, obviously, is going to be playing in the playoffs come on March 26th. And if they win that game on March 31st, yes, we're hearing footsteps, yes, and they're loud. I listened to not everything, but part of the interview that the new Jamaica coach gave with Ball Pre-TV. And I got feedback to me directly saying, because I'm getting some specifics, but that I had the program previously where I said I didn't agree with what Rudolph Speed said to Maverick when he said that the coach left. Haugemson left because he lost a game against Canada. Now, if you believe that, then I have a building to sell you. Not a building, I have some paper to sell you. For $1 million. And by the way, $1 million can't buy no house in New York no more. So at least no multifamily house. $1 million is not a lot of money nowadays in New York. And then I said that he didn't really know the players. And I got feedback. He said, I'm lying. He know the players, right? Now, I don't make statements without having some information to inform my view about this. I was provided information. I didn't get empirical evidence to substantiate some of this. But with communication with people, I was informed that part of the reason why the man left was because he's getting pressure to play certain players and he wasn't getting the tools that he needed. And I got it from great sources, not good sources, great sources. And secondly, when I've gone to Jamaica game, and I haven't gone to a lot of games, I would see the president there. I would see the interim Gen Seco was there. When I was in Dallas, I saw Chung there. Rudolph Speed don't go to games. He actually said that out loud. He doesn't go to games. He just started going when he became the technical advisor who assists, not insists. Right. I'm going to make sure I get it right. And I was told this. So I have to manage what I say sometimes. I don't want to divulge my sources. I was told he didn't know the players, and that even players are wondering, the man coming to play and didn't say nothing to nobody. They didn't talk to him. And he said this the other day, because I heard him on Ball Pre-TV. He doesn't want to talk to too many players and get to know them too well, because he don't want to create an environment where players are going to have expectation. If you are saying you're not engaging with players because you don't have the expectation, you say, me a lie. You're not listening to yourself, you know? And when you say these things and you see change your mind, that's not a good thing. You don't want to come on people's platform saying you prefer sell a player than go World Cup. You said that before. I was told you said that. Never yet, but you said that. Then you come on and say, oh, no, I have quota system for the junior team and not for the senior team, and then we see. Then you want to come on and say, well, you're gonna play anybody who, so long as them reach certain whatever. You keep changing the conversation, then you cuss me and say, I'm lying or I'm saying things are not appropriate. And I try my best not to make statements without it being corroborated. I try my best not to do that because it's not a good thing. And I'm bringing these things up because it's very important. And I've also been told that the JFF, let me put it mildly, the JFF thinks I'm divisive and people hate my guts. Now, I find that to be a pleasure, and this is going to sound strange. If you hate me because I'm bringing things out that you don't like, the same person who used to support the JFF when they're running for office, the same person who get cussed out because I criticized the girls and took the JFF side in some instances, I can live with that. I believe in being impartial. I believe in being fair. I believe in being objective. And most importantly, I am independent. And I did ask Rudolph Speed before he got into his feelings to come on the channel, come interview. Because people were calling me and saying, ask Rudolph to come on, because the other people are interviewing, we don't like how they might interview him. And Rudolph said to me, and I'm not divulging any secret, he says he can't go on every YouTube channel. I think that's what he said. Can't go on every YouTube channel because he has some channel he had to go on. I think he had to go on Ball Pre TV. And he's been on Ball Pre TV more once. And let me say this. If Rudolph come on my channel or not, I don't really care. If he comes, he comes. If he doesn't come, and he probably won't come, you probably think I have something against him, I don't care. What I'm interested in is Jamaica football getting to its zenith. What I'm interested in is Jamaica having accountability. And people text me and say that. Even people in my organization say the same thing. There's no accountability. There has to be accountability. So I'm going to get into the Reggae Boyz squad and team and everything on my perspective. And I give flowers when flowers are due. And I'm going to criticize. I'm not going to call it burnout. I'm not trying to burn out no one. I'm going to criticize when criticism is warranted. And if people don't like it, I cannot help you. I'm sorry. I am not here being your lackey. I am not here being the person who's going to tell you how great you are when you may not be great. You're in the wrong ballpark. If you're great, you're going to get the flowers. If you're not great, you're going to hear it. If you don't want to hear it, get out of public space. If you're in the public domain, if you assume responsibility for an organization, a country's football team, where you're the technical director and you're the whatever you are, and then fans and supporters and sponsors and others are looking to you to be accountable, to be transparent, to have responsibility, to move the program forward, and you're not doing things a certain way, you're going to get criticized. Right? You get criticized. Okay. Yeah, Kirk, I have a bad memory, so I can't remember these things. But he and I always have running, right? That's one of the reasons why he left YouTube, because I got upset. He and I got into a whatever conversation he didn't like. But it's what it is. I don't have nothing against Rudolph. I'm going to call him out if he does well. So let me go into the Reggae Boyz team. Now, I find this ironic. I'm not here to beat Speed tonight, by the way, people. I'm not here to beat anybody tonight. So Rudolph Speed was the technical advisor for the Jamaica football team. He never got involved in football. He never got involved in recruiting. Never did any of that. Now, the main recruiter for Jamaica football team, repeat this again. The main recruiter is Devon Porter, who lives in Canada, who does it on his own dime. You go into people's DM, build a relationship with them, and then try to convince them to come play for Jamaica. He do it for the youth teams, he do it for the senior team. But Devon gets no credit from the JFF. But they don't want to say he exists, because if they say he exists, then it undermines them, because they are in a conundrum, as I've said before. They want players, but they don't want the players. What do I mean? Yeah, they wanted to have the best team, but they want to use local players. But some of the local players are not good enough. So the conundrum they have is, what do we do? Do we embrace people like Devon and bring them in and say, yeah, help? When if we do so, the parish president's not going to like this, going to be upset, and our local developed players won't get opportunity? Or do we embrace it where it's going to help the team progress? So they have a conundrum that they're dealing with. But Devon don't care. Devon go on and bring people in. Devon is the main one who contact Isaac Hayden, who I got to beat, by the way. I'm going to beat Hayden when I'm done with that. He contact Isaac Hayden, And Hayden said he want to play for England till them drop off. And then eventually Hayden came. He's been good for Jamaica, to be frank. And hopefully he continues that way. He's not what he used to be when he was at Newcastle before his ACL injury. And the reason why I said I'm going to beat Hayden is this. I heard Hayden complaining about the fact that we may be recruiting players. And some people say I shouldn't do this, but people, I cannot be a hypocrite, even though we all are, say this. I can't beat certain players, and when it's convenient, I allow certain players to get away with them nonsense. It wasn't Hayden alone, but Hayden the main one. This is a player who didn't want to come play for Jamaica for years and being begged to come. And then when Jamaica brought you in, you know, it reminds me of people. You know, when you have people emigrate to the US, and then want nobody else to come to US, emigrate to the US. They don't want anybody to come to the US. Them come in, enough Hispanic that vote for Trump now. They come in, and when they come in, they like close the door now. I'm in, close the door. Don't want nobody to come in. The most selfish thing ever. And the worst thing about it, his game is safe. What's he complaining about? And this is the same Hayden and the same players who failed to qualify from the easiest group ever. Now, if you're Rudolph Speed, you'll be a madman not to go out and get players. You'll be a madman. You'll be just want to fail not to go out and go get players. It's totally crazy for some player to complain about recruiting. You think Hayden, if he was playing for England, could tell Tuchel not to go recruit players or English anywhere they are in the world? You think he could have tell him that? You have the audacity to come tell us that the coach shouldn't go with players because X, Y, Z, and they should have come before. Why did you come before? If you come before and better then, we would have gotten in a better place. Don't do nonsense. We're not taking that. Just, you know what? You don't say America, just shut up and play. Aiden, just shut up and play. Do the Englishman them though. No controversy. Shut up and play. Just kick the ball and don't talk. We don't want to hear anything said, but no recruiting. We need to recruit. The team we had before failed to qualify from the easiest zone ever. It needs complete enhancement. Can't get rid of everybody. So we get rid of Alano. No feel. Stop it. Stop it. Not saying Alano play bad, but the team failed. That's not even debatable. And we have a second chance, and we got to grab it with both hands. Now, I'm going to give Rudolph Speed some flowers because he thinks I don't like him. That's far from the truth. I have nothing against him. I have nothing for him. We just start the truth. You don't like it? Can't help you. Yes, Kirk. Just shut up and dribble. Shut up and dribble. It's perfect for football players. He's not dribble anyway. He only pass. So shut up and pass. So, and while I'm talking about Rudolph, I'm going to give you the layout of I think Rudolph is not doing what I think he should be doing to prepare the team for the upcoming tournament. I'm telling you the truth. He's doing some things, something he's not doing. I'm going to criticize what he's not doing. I'm going to give him flowers what he's doing. Now, the first thing you have to do, given that we lost to a team which was much better than us in Curacao, is that the recruiting wasn't good. The recruiting was not good. Why do I say that? There were a number of players that I've been talking about before the inception of the World Cup qualifiers who should have gotten their papers, who didn't get their papers for one reason or the other. Right? And that was very disappointing. We heard Mason Green was coming. He got his papers. He didn't come. Oh, by the way, let me say this about Mason. If Mason wants to come, it's his prerogative. He should come, not come. That's his prerogative. But to me, if Mason doesn't come, we shouldn't take him going forward. I'm sorry. We shouldn't take him. If he doesn't come and we don't qualify, we shouldn't take him. Now, why do I say that? The reason why I said that Mason is a little bit different is that if Mason was Jonathan Rowe, who came to the JFF and asked to get his papers, and JFF did not acquiesce because they weren't sure he wanted to play for us, he went on his own and got it. You know what? He's eligible to play, and if he decided to come when he comes, I'm fine. But if you come to the JFF and he asks us to get your papers, and we got it for you, and then you don't come, I'm sorry. I think you used us. I know some people are going to hate me saying that, but if you don't like me saying it, then close your ears and turn off the thing. Come here, say it. So if Mason decided not to come, what we need him again for? What we should be doing is recruiting enough good players to allow us to compete going forward. And we're doing that, by the way. So on the recruiting front, Mason is still open for you. If you come, great. If you don't come, I think you should just stay where you are. Because you're not going to play for England, trust me. If you're waiting to play for England, it's fine. You're born in England. You should play for England. But if you can't get to England, and we ask you to come, you don't come, then you should stay where you are. Enjoy your club football, enjoy your career. Hope you do wonderful. I like something that Rudolph Speed has done when it comes to the players. And I hope he sticks to it. By the way, people, we have 80-something people watching and we only have 48 likes. Now, if you don't like it, I understand. But if you like it, hit the like button. And I make sure I put the polling there before you come in. So you decide if you skip it and not hit the like button. It's fine. Some of you won't hit it because some of you are YouTubers. You don't want nobody people like button. Even though me hit food when we come in, you don't have to hit the like button if you're a YouTuber. Since you don't want to hit it. But the rest of you, hit the like button. You know me, I call out people this evening. Rudolph Speed have some criteria which are very important in terms of team selection, which I hope he sticks to, by the way. I think he put it in for a reason. And it's a smart move by Rudolph, you know. Really, really smart move. And here's why it's a smart move. Because part of the reason why we failed to qualify is because a lot of players weren't playing no football. They were not playing any football. And because they weren't playing any football, when they come play for Jamaica, that was the only time they played some football. Now, some of them did okay, like Cephas. But Cephas wasn't playing any football. Cephas can't get on game for the club team. So when Cephas come play for Jamaica, I said, what time you get game time? Now, here is the press conference. I'm going to go back over this. That Rudolph had. Let's see if we can find the criteria. We'll go over the criteria and we'll go have some good news in the recruiting front. Well, start a good news. I don't want to make no commitment to nothing. Then people go beat me. Say, boy, Cranky said this person not come and they don't come. So you have to caveat everything. But I know Rudolph had some I'm trying to find this here. Give me 1 second, people. By the way, I have no idea why Jamaica play Martinique and play Grenada, but I'm sure Rudolph a practice. Nobody can say Rudolph never coach internationally now. So here's the selection policies that Rudolph has. Players over contract with a club in the top 20 leagues in the world. I don't even know what that means. If you're not playing at a club in the top 20 leagues in the world, then you must be playing in the top league in that country. Now, I think Rudolph said I defeat the purpose of his first bullet point, but we're not going to decipher it tonight. Because I think what he wants is the best players who are playing at a high level to be in the team. If you're going to tell people after that, so they might be playing the top league in a country. If you're playing at Grenada in the top league, you're qualified. That shouldn't be the case. If you're playing in Grenada, people in the top league, if you're playing in Cayman Islands in the top league, you're qualified. That don't make no sense to me. Now, the people who have played for Jamaica before, I can understand we grandfather them in. But the second bullet, you need to revisit that. That make no sense. Is that because everybody's eligible? Almost. Reggae Boyz team selection policy. Players must be fit. I'm not going to judge that, but we'll see. That means certain players who have not getting game time, are they fit? Or you think them train enough to get game time? They don't have to fit them play for a big team. Like if you're Pinnock and you are at Brentford, then you're in that tough training environment. Is that sufficient? I don't know. Players must be playing regular minutes at their clubs. Now, Pinnock now play regular minutes. Cephas now play regular minutes. Whisper now play regular minutes. Now, I have a question, people. This is funny. Dixon is now getting regular minutes. But Dixon's in the academy. Does that qualify? So he's not playing in the top. He's grandfather then. That's why the criteria need to be more strict and more palatable. The way the criteria is, anybody can get in. So Dixon got recalled from League 2, can then get no game. He might play in the academy. I think he scored 3 goals the other day, taking some soft people. And then he's playing regular minutes and he's training, so that means he qualifies. And then what would mean some other player may not qualify, who may be in a better position, played at a higher standard. Strange. Players must exhibit a high standard of performance. That's very subjective. I don't know what that means. And then what Rudolph does is give a catch-all, which most people do, to allow them to circumvent their own rules. Sorry. So that's the criteria, people. So based on that criteria, there are certain players who get excluded. But then nobody got excluded. That may sound strange. Certain players are excluded, but then nobody got excluded. So if you play the JPL, you qualify. If you play in Grenada top league, you qualify. If you play that Cayman top league, you qualify. If you play for Jamaica before, but you're like Ravel playing in Bush League, you qualify. Everybody qualify. The one thing about the criteria I have, which I think is good, you must be playing regular minutes at their club, which also is a catch, but at least you run and you get fitness in and you play some football. And the high performance thing, I don't know what that means. Seriously, I don't know what that means. Let me take this down. I don't know what it means, people. But at least we have some criteria. Now, based on the recruiting, so there are a number of things I think Jamaica needs to focus on for this qualification, some which we're not doing. There are 5 main things. I'm going to go through each of them. There's a recruiting and continuous monitoring of players to make sure they're performing. There is this sort of legal eligibility issue to make sure the people we're bringing don't go into the Congo situation where people come play for us and then not have them papers, they not change allegiance, make sure it's done right. Right? There is this scouting the opponent. We're going to go through that. There's the logistics and travel, which is very important. And then there's a player coordination and leadership. So it's sort of 5 main category, right? So let's go through them. In the recruiting thing. Now, my understanding is there are about 5 players who should be coming in. One of those players is not going to get his papers. I'm going to mention their names, but I'm not saying they're coming. But I would say this, though. Rudolph Speed, he may not know the players, but he's intimately involved in recruiting. Let me say this again. I'm like, if he want vex, say me lie, say, he don't know the players. He don't know the players, them. But when we say know the players, them, when Arteta went to recruit Califieri, Califieri said, the reason when come, the man know what his mom, he know him sister, he know him brother, he know everything about him before him talk to him, right? You have to get to know the player, the person, team, history, all of that. You know the players them. Okay, what I want to say. He may see them, he may in a meeting when them sit down, he don't really know them. I know engage with them enough. You know, Speed standoffish, you know. You ever see Speed I engage enough people in the side when watch football. Speed not engage enough people. Speed standoffish. Speed down to that. Speed have an executive who look down on the peons down there. That's how it works. Some executive, like my old CEO, engage with everybody, even the janitor. Speed look on the janitor have to it. But anyway, that's my view. You may not like it, but that's true. But anyway, some people operate like that, by the way. They don't want to make sure people know their roles and responsibility. But I think in a football environment, it has to be a little bit different. But anyway. But I say this, Rudolph Speed, it's my understanding, has been very, very effective in recruiting. Now, I know some of you are going to say, why wasn't he involved before? We're not going to get into that. We're going to try and move forward. But before we jump forward, can I give him flowers now? And then we'll beat him, as usual. Gary says, the criteria is so broad, somewhat counterproductive. Yes, it is. I think it's meant to say I'm doing something, but then I defeat the purpose of what I'm doing by expanding it so broad that it's meaningless. Yes, I think they did. And by making that to include JPL players, they include everybody almost. Mason Green, we won't get. Well, we want him. Not look like him want him. Bless up Dr. Dan. Not look like him want us. But let me keep going. So there are 5 players. There are supposed to be 6. But I'm aware, there's supposed to be 7 actually. I'm aware about 5, I think, or 4 maybe coming in. So there were 7 players that were being looked at, right? It was Lewis Baker, Andre Brooks, Cameron Archer, Efron Mason Clark, Keenan Davis. I'm missing somebody. The kid from Rangers, whose name is slipping me now. And who am I missing? And Miguel Freckleton, who played with King. My understanding is this, that 5 of those players may be coming. We don't want people, and Rudolph Speed is integrally involved in working with Pika to get this done, is my understanding. And it's been very, very effective. So my understanding is that we may get Cameron Archer, we may get Efron Mason Clark, we may get Miguel Freckleton, who plays, I said, with Kings, a left footer. We may get Cameron Archer, and we may get Lewis Baker. Now, if I look at all 5 of them and where they are performance-wise, I'm not sure if I would pick Baker because even though he's a very effective player, goal scorer, good CM, he's been out a long time with injury. I think he's been out since November, last time I checked. And he's probably just coming back. So does he have enough time between now and mid-March? I don't know. He would not be fit if you're assessing him. There's not a lot to assess. He's a very good player, but he's been out for a while, so he may not be ready performance-wise or fitness-wise. If I was his club, I probably wouldn't want him to go play no international football if he's come back from a long-term injury. So then we go to Cameron Archer. It has not been his most productive season. I rate Cameron Archer, by the way. quick, skillful, challenging for most defenders. His career is going south versus going north. But I like him as a player, and I think he's probably better than what we have, frankly. But I think he only has a couple goals this season. Right? So that's 2. I am very, very supportive, happy, optimistic about Andre Brooks coming in and playing in probably the 10 role. He plays for Sheffield, goal scorer, assist maker, has legs. He's about 23. I think he's born in 2003, so he's young. He played in the Premier League when Sheffield was there. They've been demoted about 2 years now, but didn't play a lot of games. I read a lot of stories on him. Not a lot, but some stories on him. The fans at Sheffield are very high on him. I watched him play the other day, scored a couple of goals in a game. Very good player. And I think we can use him. So he's very effective. Ephraim Mason-Clark. I think Ephraim Mason-Clark probably have 7 goals and 5 assists this season, about 30 games. He starts for Coventry. He starts on the left. Quick, physical, skillful. Very good player. And I think he's going to give Gray, Tyrese Campbell, and Cephas a run for their money. And we'll get out one of them, actually. Don't know which one of them, but one of them going to get out that team because he's that effective and he's been very productive this season. Much more productive than Gray has been, who's playing for Birmingham. They're playing in the same league. He's playing for Coventry, which is on top of the chart. Same team that Latibert play for. So if you look at that, he's in a very good spot, right? So we have Archer, we have Ephraim Mason-Clark, we have Brooks. I said Lewis Baker is injured. And then we have Freckleton. Now, I consider the Scottish League, the lower teams in the league, like St. Mirren, to be like League One, to be honest. At bottom of the championship. So it's hard to judge those players. But he starts over King, right? And he also scores goals from being a defender. He's scored about 3 goals this season. Look at the stats. And I think he has an assist. So he's also productive in terms of scoring goals. He's a left footer. So those are the 5 players. And I would expect them to come in. As I said before, Rudolph Speed has been instrumental in getting them, possibly be able to get them. I'm not saying it's a done deal, but Rudolph Speed has done a monumental job to get those players in. And he deserves his kudos, regardless of whether or not people can say, where was he before and wasn't he helping? But he's doing it now for him being the coach. And he's being effective. Now, I think the list of those players, I know Devon has been involved in terms of Devon Porter, in terms of identifying players. But I also know that Rudolph has been the main architect in terms of influencing outcome. Because sometimes you have the people who are doing the work on the ground, working with P-Kiner, but you need somebody who have some contacts and connections and links. Jamaica about links. And people sometimes have their papers or have the right credentials to obtain their papers, but you can't get access, right? I had this parent from England, a couple of parents who called me, 2 years in running, still can't get through. We'll have to get it through in no time. We're gonna go through all of that, Kirk. We're gonna go through all of that. So it's a good thing that Rudolph is involved in recruiting. But I think what this teaches you, and Rudolph, this is for you. Come you watch a program sometime. You do this, you don't watch it. Let me take some water, people. Give me a second. What Rudolph is doing now, the JFF should have been doing from day one. The recruiting has been very haphazard. It has not been structured. It has not been tailored. It has not been thoughtful. It has not been holistic. It has not been a process where you're identifying the inventory or the population of players or Jamaican eligibility, and you have a strategy while pursuing them. You know what the JFF could do, people? Here's what the JFF could do. If you're saying you don't have the manpower to do the recruiting, and you want to make sure, as me, some people at Jamaica say, can I say some people come down committed, and I hear Rudolph say something about some players want guaranteed playing time before them come. I can understand that, People may seem that's very obnoxious and presumptive, but I can see why. If you have fly 8 hours and you're not getting no game, and you watch someone of a player and you think they're better than them, it's not a good thing. Baker's still injured. I was told he's coming off his injury, but I don't know. But I do think what Rudolph is doing to recruit players for the games coming up, why wasn't that being done by the JFF? Not necessarily Rudolph, But the JFF is an organization. Why didn't they have a structure and a process? You know what they know JFF should do? Should use different outlets to communicate to the diaspora to say, look, if you want to play for Jamaica, here's the contact that you should engage with. Don't give you a contact. Then that person or those persons or that group figured a way to find a way to assess you, whether by white squad or whether or not they should even consider engage at whatever level it is, whether it's junior level, senior level, Reggae Boyz, the Reggae Girls. You know, the Reggae Girls, by the way, I know is doing a brilliant job recruiting. And they don't have the same restriction the Reggae Boyz do or the young team, the boys team do. The girls have a much easier path for diaspora girls to get through. But again, if they have a mechanism to reach out to the general populace diaspora and say, you know what, you want to come play with Jamaica? You think you're good enough? Here is the mechanism for you to do so. Right? Maybe we have a person in US, person in England, person in some place, a person in Europe who can go scout them and then come back and report in and you make a decision about how to engage them. We should be doing that. If you're saying you don't have enough manpower to go meet every single person or identify, come up with a mechanism to do so. I'm sure there's some people who would volunteer their time like they do for the women's team to get involved in some of this. But we don't have that. And it's a little bit sad that we don't have that. And hopefully that changes. But I'll say this, that Rudolph's speech should be given his flowers about the recruiting, because I'm very encouraged. Look, I think it's an uphill task regardless of who we recruit. Unless we get Mason Greenwood in. If we had Mason Greenwood playing up front, I'll pick my team anyway. I'll pick my team. But me now put Mason in come. Mason not come. At least I haven't gotten any word that he's coming. But you know what? Miracles do happen. And even if he comes, it's not guaranteed we'll get through. But Rudolph deserves his flowers for the recruiting, and he should be given such flowers, right? So at least, but here's the fun thing about that. At least Rudolph is showing that he is not throwing in towel. He's trying to win, and he's working his, you know what, off to do so, even though I'm not sure that playing Martinique and Grenada is the strategy. But anyway. Cranky, no, Keenan Davis not playing in March. He make me believe he'll make it if he join the group next month. We have to know color. So Keenan Davis is not coming now. Sometimes it's not the JFF. Sometimes it's not the recruiters. Sometimes it's the players. That's all I'll say on that one. Sometimes it's the players. You can't create miracles sometimes in the player. I heard Keenan Davis said the other day he wants to play for England. Keenan Davis, you don't play for England. You're coming like a hidden. We all have wishes. We all have aspirations. We all have goals. You ain't playing for England. There are too many people in front of you. Not that you're not a good player. And he was injured recently. I think he had a hamstring, right? So he probably out for a few weeks, but Keenan Davis is not going to be in the mix. So with these players, we have not solved our midfield, right? Because, well, have we not solved? So we have Hayden. We have Andre Brooks. If he brings Ravel, who's in the 52, then Ravel could be in there. He still has to rely upon the old Palmer. I wouldn't have Russell in my squad. I have nothing against Russell, but I don't think he's at the level required. So you'll have a better midfield. I think Andre Brooks would add a lot to that midfield. I think Brooks and Hayden, along with another player, whether it's Ravel or somebody else, would add a lot to it. I just don't know the intensity of where Ravel is playing. You know, I rate Ravel a lot. I know the intensity to say he's going to be ready to play against a team where Ronaldo. We're going to talk about that a little bit. You know what? I should talk about that before we go further. Then I get back to the team. Then, well, I am not going to say anybody's confirmed because last time I said that, especially with Greenwood, I get beaten. But if I mention a player and I sit there in the mix, then, yeah, the player have to come first. You know, players are, them toenail hurt them finger hurt them can't come, them misses our baby, or something. So, I don't want to confirm nobody. But if I mention a player and say, if I'm giving Rudolph kudos, that means I'm pleased with the recruiting process. And he deserves his kudos, right? Now, Jamaica is supposed to play New Caledonia. And if we win, we play Congo. DR Congo. Now, as many of you know, Nigeria, like every other team or country, is desperate to get to the World Cup. So they have approached FIFA to say, Congo use as much as 6 ineligible players to play against them. And therefore, they should get Congo spot because Congo should forfeit. But here's the problem, people. If Nigeria wins their case, that can't be the end of this, you know. unless FIFA is myopic in their view. Because most people are thinking, well, of course Nigeria go through. But Congo, I think, also beat Cameroon, didn't they? And did any of those players play in the zone when they play in those zones for the other teams who were in the zone? Because every team that played against Congo, when they played with those players, if it's proven to be the case, deserves a shot someplace. You got to work out the points. How would it have worked out? Does every team who get the Congo points, Congo lose all their points, so you get 0 for those points, you get 1 point? If you're Cameroon who got knocked out by Congo, should you play Nigeria? And then what does that mean for the playoffs, which dates are set? So FIFA has a problem. Maybe that's why they haven't ruled us yet. Because if FIFA can't just say Congo should go play if they broke the rules. Now, I heard some people say to me that, well, what FIFA should do is just ban the team from Africa, ban Congo, so therefore nobody comes and Jamaica just get this spot. The winner of Jamaica, New Caledonia game, get this spot. That ain't happening. Tyrese Hall is he's not in my midfield mix, but he's in the midfield mix. He's in the 52-man squad, right? Tyrese Hall is 50-man squad. I just didn't put him in there because I'm going to show you the list that I have. I didn't think I have a spot for him, actually. He's young. He's a very good player, but I didn't have a spot for him. But in the 52-man squad that Speed had, Tyrese Hall was in there. Max Aarons is not coming. Max Aarons has not pursued his papers to come. So Max Aarons is not coming. Even though I was told, was it last year, way early in the process, that Max was enthusiastic about coming. And then Max had to play in the qualifiers for either Europa or Champions League early in July, August, and it went down from there. No Max Aarons, no John Sterling. Unless Sterling is pursuing his on the side, which I don't know about. I haven't heard about him. I have not heard about John Sterling. I know he was in Jamaica vacationing. Sometimes people in Jamaica, like how Nelson was, people get excited about them. Like everybody want to go to Jamaica, go enjoy themselves. My secret best friend, I wouldn't know, because we're not even associates anymore. I can say that out loud. We have some issues, and they ain't gonna get fixed. We divorced. Should I say that we divorced? We divorced. It's probably permanent divorce too. Cause nobody can tell Speed up to do it, nobody can tell me what to do. So 2 heads out butt, you know what I'm going to go. So Nitro is asking this question, which is the right question. Nitro, we don't have a right back. Now come up, show them at 23. We don't have a right back, Nitro. We have a problem. So first of all, we went with recruiting. So I think recruiting is set. We're not going to bring anybody else in from the one I mentioned, unless they come in on their own. So we basically have about 5 new recruits coming in, if they do come. Because you know that's set. Reese Nelson, I don't know what Reese Nelson is thinking, but Reese Nelson has been cracked. He's been injured all year. He hasn't played any football. You ain't think about Reese. Now, so I think the JFF need to focus on 5 key areas. First is recruiting, which they're taking care of. So, wonderful JFF. I'm very pleased with your recruiting. And it could have been better, but it also could have been worse. And it's not the JFF who don't want to bring players. If the players don't come, it's up to the players, people. It's not the JFF. Rudolph Speed has done yeoman work. In fact, Rudolph Speed did come on and say that his whole way of thinking historically about players has changed. He now says he embraces Diaspora players for the national team. So he's putting his money where his mouth is, and he's showing that way. And by the way, let me just say something. I heard Presser the other day cussing. Hey, Presser, you in the chat, Presser? Presser, you never stop listening to certain people now. I hear Presser cuss because he read some article in The Observer where I think Rudolph said that some of the players who played against Martinique have a chance. I don't know what he said, but that's what Presser inferred, to be in the national team. Maybe Rudolph should tell us which player I think about. Me can't think about one. I know Warner Brown was in there before. I'm going to see Warner Brown being in there again. I think Rudolph sometimes have to appease his audience, and sometimes he makes some statements which him money can't back up. Because in trying to appease people, you say something, you didn't say that they're definitely going to be in, but you give them some hope, and they may have to dash those hope, and they're going to come at you hard. Right? Now, you would say, Cranky, then what should he say? He said what he said. I wouldn't say anything. I probably wouldn't say anything different. I probably would say, you know what? We're doing our assessment. We won't discard anyone. We're going to review all the players that we have come in contact with and make an informed decision based on that assessment. That's it. But, and you know, the Jamaica traditional media, them lap them thing up there and make the statement and probably I'll say what I not say. And then probably embellish it. Right? Probably embellish it. But anyway, so Rudolph has been doing his job in that aspect. Me beat Rudolph tonight in a time, deserve beating on certain things. What me hear him say. Me hear him say on Barbie channel. But when it comes to recruiting, which to me is the most important thing, it's not even his coaching people. Given that he only has players coming, what, the 23rd, 22nd, them come in, them about 1 day for recover, and them play a game on the weekend, then them play the first game the 26th, then the next game 20. He won't have enough time to implement nothing. You need the best players possible. I'm not giving this nonsense about camaraderie and chemistry. We're not on chemistry. We lose to Curacao. We're not on chemistry. Chemistry is overrated when it comes to Jamaica team. We need some good players on the field. We can pass the ball to each other and put the ball in the net. That's all we need. Now, let's go. And on recruiting, we don't have no right back. I'll go over the 23-man squad with me select and explain when we get there. But by the way, people, Frey can't play the first game. And the question you should ask yourself is, if you can't play the first game, should be in the squad at all. But Frey can't play the first game. But he can't play the second game. I think he might have too much yellow. So he missed the first game and Nicholson missed the first game. And one could say, should Nicholson be in the squad? We'll get to that. Now, so I gave you 5 categories. So the first one is recruiting and continuous monitoring. I mean, you recruit the players in and you're assessing all the players in your 52-man squad or 60-man squad to make sure they're performing at a certain level, they're performing well. And then, you know what? You know when you select your 26 or 23, what that look like. Even though you can submit up to 35, FIFA allow you up to 26. In the initial, you can submit up to 35, I think it's initially, and then you can narrow it down to 26. And I'm sure you want to bring, I don't think you want to bring all the players over from England who may satisfy that. So you may have to think about how you want to do that. Now, in terms of, so we got to recruiting and continuous monitoring. In terms of legal and eligibility task force that we probably should have in place, we need to have somebody who makes sure so all the passport them, the eligibility, the change of nationality, but not change nationality, but you change your allegiance. That's all done, and we're in compliance with FIFA. We don't want to be like no Congo. So all the players we may be bringing in, we've gotten their papers. We want to make sure that's done the right way and done timely, and done before we submit the list to FIFA. So we need to rush to do this because the time run out. We're at the end of March now. We're at the end of February, as almost March. And normally you have to submit your list about, 10 days before? You have to submit the list, is it 10 or 2 weeks? So maybe between the 10th and the 13th, the 10th and the 16th of March. Submit your list of FIFA can play the first game on the 26th. So you have some time still. But you want to make sure all the things then go through the FIFA process and the FA for England sign off and FIFA sign off before you get through that process. And I think there should be coordination within the camp to make sure everybody's aware who is eligible, who is not. So we don't have no mistake, we don't have no ambiguity, we don't have no situation where somebody think he was eligible and he wasn't eligible and papers never go in. You gotta get that done sooner or as soon as possible. So that legal eligibility group or task force need to be in place, need to be executed to make sure all the players, there's no confusion. I know send them tickets what Ravila will complain about. You get a ticket the day of the match and you go down to the airport and the flight already. Make sure with those things, logistics are worked out. Let me take some comments before I go further. Sanjay said, I think Speedo want to call Tyrese Hall. I heard him on a program recently saying how impressed he was with the stat that Tyrese had a very high percent of foul pass in the opposition half. He may. I don't know if he will. He may. I've been touting Tyrese Hall for a while. I think Maverick said, I told some man from League 2 and him this and him that. I don't know. Maverick don't know about football, so I can't talk to Maverick. You know me, Rudolph said Maverick was one of the top 5 minds in football in Jamaica. Let me say Jamaica until them, and then him said the number changed because I guess they have some coaching now license. Maverick don't know about football. Can't talk to Maverick. Maverick don't know none of the players them. No, I see a man who run program and talk sports and do no due diligence. Topical. DJ Chris says Cranky, but based on issue, you convinced. Do you think that Speed actually trying to get the best players for upcoming? Based on what I know, yes. It's I don't want to say anything is a fact because I'm not there seeing it. But based on what I know, yes, Rudolph Speed, actually he has said that. He has said that to me, and he has said that to others, and he's doing it based on my understanding. He's been key in getting the players over the line. So yes, he's doing it. So people, we can't always beat someone who just beat speed 24/7, you know. He might have some history, which is not that pleasant. But if I do right, we'll give him flowers. When he not do right, we call him out. Cranky, I think speech would hire to take care of that. No, sir. Hire me? No, sir. Nobody can hire me. I'm not work for nobody. I will help some things if people want me to help, but I'm not work for nobody. That not happen. We don't work for people. One person I work for is my savior. Where am I? Okay. Opponent scouting and tactical planning. So I would expect that, at least I would expect this. I don't know if this is happening or not, that Rudolph and his coaching staff, which is, I think, Miguel Coley and the kid Anderson from England, would have. The problem that they're having is this, people. There's a problem with this scouting thing. A big problem. So Rudolph and his team would have spent a lot. They should have been spending a lot of time scouting Congo, right? The players, the team, who plays where, how they play, their strategy, their style of play, the whole thing. Going over tapes and tapes analysis and identify how they want to approach it. But suppose Congo get kick out and Nigeria play. So maybe what they need to do is have the information on both teams. Have a contingency plan, just in case. You can never overplan people. You want to spend more time on the Congo component, but you got to prepare to pivot if Nigeria is the opponent, or Cameroon, whoever it is, versus Congo. It's messy, but you can't leave any stone unturned, right? So they need to have full scouting analysis on the Congo and New Caledonia, by the way. Don't forget New Caledonia. They should have video analysis of, say, 8 to 10 matches with those teams. Set piece analysis for and against, them defensive piece or non-defensive piece. How them play the football. Who are the key players? How the players then play. So they need to get a plan of everything, including how they will operate. How they will play, if they might lead, how they will play, if they might trail, how they will play. If they go to extra time, people, penalties, I don't think they can work out. All them logistics need to be worked out. Then logistics and travel. We don't want complaints. I'm gonna say that England get him plane ticket a day before or before him flight. I'm in a coach when he's in a business class because I'm a player. I'm a go. There's not much time between when they're gonna play the last game in Europe and when they get to Mexico, Guadalajara. And by the way, me just mention the Guadalajara thing about the violence thing, people. Because I did a video on this. You should go watch a video where they have a lot of violence after the El Mencho was killed in Mexico, and then burn and kill and do what them do. But I would doubt that the gangsters will want to disrupt the World Cup. I would doubt it because then Trump would just send in people, him soldier. Want sending people, him soldier them go get themselves harm people. But Seinbaum was the leader of Mexico. It's basically Claudia Seinbaum is basically saying things gonna be okay. So we'll see what happens. I think FIFA has some problems when it comes to the World Cup, but I'm sure they work through it. But you want to make sure that players are not fatigued when them come in because it's a long ride. They don't have much time. The hotel environment is, they're not playing against any team in Mexico. So we should not, and in Latin America, there should know people at the window outside the hotel are scream and cry and disrupt sleep. Players need to not go party. Well, I know Jamaica them this, and them can't go party. Well, them can, but let's let them stay within the confines of the hotel and focus on the game them. Right? And then make sure they recover on the pitch and then get the stats about the physical situation with each player from the clubs. Make sure they have the logistics work out. I'm sure they must have that. Now, I had made some suggestions, and I hear Rudolph Speed making some comments, which I'm going to beat Rudolph on. I made suggestions about player coordination and leadership, right? I thought that if you don't know the players as well as you should, if you are the new coach, you're not the old coach, McLaren. Well, he wasn't a coach. Well, McLaren was there on the team. Or Hagrimson. You have to get up to speed as quickly as possible on the players. You want to build camaraderie. You want them to identify you as a leader. You want them to respect you. You want to be able to have the authority in the room. Not just the authority because you're the coach, but the authority by how the things that how you communicate, how you engage, what you say, what you do, and how you do it. I hear Rudolph talking about he don't want to get too close to the players, or you don't want to say certain things because he may create a sense of entitlement. This is my word. when it comes to players in terms of playing time and all that. And then when I say don't know the players, him cuss and say, allow me to tell. If in this environment, people, you only have 2 games, you have to build a sense of community. You have to build a situation where you're saying to yourself, you know what? It's us against the world. They don't want to think we can qualify. We're going to qualify. Especially if you're bringing some new players. You want to have the conversations now on Zoom calls, for example. None of that is happening, as far as I know, based on what Rudolph has said, not what I say. None of that's happening. Because he's going to say, well, I don't know who I'm going to bring. No, you bring all 52 or 60 players on the call. Some of you may not be part of this. You're part of the whole ecosystem. We got to narrow the squad down. Some of you weren't part of it, but want to communicate and engage and talk to you about XYZ. You can do that. Or if you want to say, you know what? I know certain people are going to be in the squad because of what? Andre Blake's going to be in the squad. Hayden going to be in the squad. Given what I'm recruiting, given who I know, if they're not injured, they're going to be in the squad. So maybe I have a core set of players I bring in and have some conversations with them. But you have to have engagement. You can't just sit down and say, you know what? We talk to him. I'm not talking to nobody. I don't want to create no sense of entitlement. That's where we differ. I don't agree, and I think it's a big mistake to be made. Right? It's a big mistake. Big mistake. And there's not much time to do anything now anyway. Next week is March. We're playing March 26th. You're running out of time. Maverick getting his coaching license. I believe McLaren had him, and so somewhere. Yeah. Hey, Cranky, working for your save is a good thing. Yes, it's a good thing. So I do think it's a miss on Rudolph's part if he's not doing that. Now, there are a couple of things that Rudolph has to think about. What does he do with certain players who are not getting minutes or are deemed to be key to the team? Example, Cephas. Playing in Russia, not getting any minutes, and some people think he's an automatic starter. To me, should he be in the squad if he ain't getting no minutes? That's a question. No J. Ross, none. That's a question. So I come up with my own 23-man squad. I'm going to get beaten for it. But I have my rationale. So this is my 23-man squad. There's some very notable absentees. Now I have my reason why. So I have 3 goalkeepers there. And I didn't do this based on any politics. So J. Ross, I don't know what happened, actually, to be honest. Bless up Michael Gard. I don't know what happened, but they're not here. So here's my squad, people. And I have Cephas in there. So Andre Blake, Jamal Waite, and Jaden Hibbert as goalkeepers. I hope I'm spelling Jaden first name right. Defense, and you will see some notable absentees. And if we go through, if I can even pick a starting 11 before we go further, I would say Blake is the goalkeeper. Defense, there's some notable absentees. I have Amari Bell, Rico Henry, Greg Lee, Nuff Left Footers, Latiba Deer, Richard King, Freckleton, Mason Holgate, and Ian Frey. Now, I would say my starting defense would be, well, I'm going to get some beat, you know. I would say Rico Henry at left back. That's a given. He's one of the best left back to me in the Premier League at the moment. Watch him against my team and some other teams, locking down people. Now I get beaten, locking down people. Can play wing back or left back. Center half, center half, I would probably say Freckleton and Latiba Deer. So King up on the bench. And right back, I don't have a right back, people. I'm struggling. Frey can't play the first game. I have Mason Holgate on my right back. I don't trust Mason Holgate. Too rash, too slow, but I can't find a right back. So I'm going to put Mason Holgate run there and maybe Ian Frey play the second game. I'm very concerned about Frey or Holgate playing against Congo. Quick, fast left winger. Not feeling good. But I have Freckleton and Lati to me has to start. I watched Lati playing for Coventry. Lati's in great form. And Lati has the ability to play midfield. So when you can play a little bit of midfield, you play center half, you're very composed on the ball. Very cerebral, read the game well. So I have Lati, Freckleton. If you don't know Freckleton, go look him up. He played beside King. He's more of a starter than King for his team. He also scored some goals. So Rico Henry, Freckleton, Latiba there, and people like play three at the back to right. I don't trust me as well get that. I don't trust free run either. No, I'm not having Tavon Gray DJ. Sorry. I've watched him of late, but right back is a problem for Jamaica. I was hoping we get a Dijon Sterling or somebody that ilk, but that's not happening. We could put Lati right back, but then Lati's so strong on center back, why would I put him a right back? You could put King up center half and Lati right back. You notice my defense does what are two people missing from my center, my defense people. You notice that? Let me just take a look at break for a second. Hit the like button, people. Hit the like button. Who are the two people missing from? You see some people missing from my defense? It's Kyle Duncan. No, I ain't put on Kyle Duncan. I don't know Kyle Duncan, so I shouldn't say anything. Yup. Cartless, no low, no pin-up. The reason why is this, because if I follow the criteria laid out by Professor Speed, and you need to be performing, you can't perform in playing football. You don't care what you want to train. So, Pinnock is not playing in football for Brentford. He's only playing cup games. And Low is in Indonesia. That's Siberia. And come back Ravel, that's Siberia. And I can't put Low in my squad or my team if you're not playing football. So Ethan Pinnock and Low in my squad. I know that sounds harsh, but I'm trying to win. Not care nobody. Lati to me has to start with either King or either Freckleton. And right now I think Freckleton's a better player than King, so I'm start Freckleton out there. By the way, people, did you see the red card King at the other day? What a fool red card. Scott and Navarre. The man just dropped like King, suck him, and King not doing nothing. And the ref give him a red card. Did they ever see the red card? Kind of make no sense to me. Who is not good? Patrick, who's not good? Greg Lee should be number one, who played great in Conference League. People. Look, when the Conference League is some big league. Conference League or Bush League. Greg Lee has never had a bad game for Jamaica. Man, what not talk about? I'm not knocking Webster. I don't know Webster enough. He's a decent player. But come on, let's not use Conference League as a barometer and criteria to assess a player's ability. Any championship player can play good in the Conference League. I know Crystal Palace in Conference League, they got dropped down when Nottingham took their place, but let's not go with the Conference League thing. Greg Lee, to me, needs to be in the squad. We have 3 left. And by the way, I have Bell in the squad because Bell can play center half. So we have Greg Lee and Reek up on the left. We have Greg Lee and Freckleton in the middle. I have King and Lati on the right. And then I have Mason Wogan and Ian Frey. I could get rid of both of them because I'm not happy with them. Not happy with them. Right? To me, either of them doesn't really matter. Now in the midfield, I'm missing Tyrese Hall, who I've been promoting quite a bit, but I want to experience balanced midfield. So we have Isaac, Ravel, Bobby, KSC, Andre Brooks, Daniel Johnson, and Lewis Baker. I may take out Lewis Baker because he hasn't been fit. He's not playing a lot of football. I was told that he should be back and playing, but he will not be ready, I don't think, by... If I was Speed, I would pick Lewis Baker, even though I have him here. I like Baker because he's a goal scorer, great free kick specialist, but yeah. I don't think so. Somebody said Greg Lee's not playing football. I haven't checked his stats of late, so if he's not playing no football, then he should be in there. Okay. Then I need to check that out then. I thought he was playing. I didn't check on Greg Lee, actually. I didn't check on the performance element. Who is busy? We're not busy. We have time. We have time. We're not busy. So let's go to midfield. To me, the midfield should be Isaac, Ravel, and Andre Brooks, starters. That's me. So we can take off Lewis Baker fight. Probably replace him with someone like a Tyrese Hall, or they may want to play a local player to make up the number. I hate that sound divide. That sounds a little bit dismissive, but that does happen sometimes. But I would start Isaac. If Ravel is fit, I start Ravel. If Ravel is not fit, then I start Daniel Johnson. I think Palmer should play the 10. And I would play Andre Brooks over Palmer at the 10. So I would start Isaac, Ravel, Andre Brooks. Or I start Isaac, Daniel Johnson, and Andre Brooks. And then up front is a problem. You see, I have Leon, Tyrese, Mason Clark. It's 26 players now. We may go down to 23. But if I was starting a team, Shamar can't play the first game. I think he got a red card the last game. But I wouldn't start Shamar anyway. I probably wouldn't play Shamar. Shamar not playing any portion of football. Shamar can't get into his club team. So performance-wise, I think Shamar should be in the squad, to be honest. I would probably start Ephraim Mason Clark on the left, Cameron Archer in the middle, and maybe I'm struggling. Do you start Leon? Do you start Whisper, who's not getting a lot of game time? A lot of players not getting on game time now. Whisper not getting on game. At least Bailey I get game time. Whisper not getting on game time per se at Leicester. Come on here and there for a few minutes. Kada Martin not getting a ton of game time. He changed club. They paid £1 million for him. He's not starting. So I don't know. It's yeah. So I don't think GJ. I haven't checked on DJ either. But I don't know. We have too many players not playing any football. I don't know what the midfield gonna look like. I would start Andre Brooks and Isaac Hayden. You have to figure out the rest of the people. Because even though I say Ravel, I haven't seen Ravel playing the football either. I'm just going based on what I've been told, so I don't know. Now, Andre Brooks played the 10. What are you talking about, Dylan? Andre Brooks played the 10. Can't play. Why didn't play the 10? He'll be playing the 10 for my team. But anyway, Rudolph has a lot to think about. A lot of players are not playing in the football. They may not be on form. There's a lot of different stuff. But I don't know. The right back is a problem. Midfield is always a problem. As I said, I have Lewis Baker here because I know he's working his papers, but I'm not sure I would bring him because he's been injured for a long time. I need to do some more research on some of the other players, actually. I haven't checked on the playing time more recently. Yeah, well, they probably know the 16-year-old more because he's probably part of the academy. Or Whisper just came in. But if they sent for Whisper, they brought him in alone. Why not playing him? Or maybe he has impressed in practice. Maybe he has not impressed in practice. Because he does tend to slow the ball down. And he's reactive defensively. So that could be a detriment for him. So you may have to start Leon on the right. I would start Ephraim Mason Clark, definitely. Or you could start Gray on the right, on the left, Ephraim Mason Clark in the middle, and start Bailey on the right. Speed of options up front. At least he has option up front. If we start in the back three, Bell and Freckleton Lati, Bell can't manage the left wing back role anymore. He's being used as a... Yeah, no, you have Rico Henry, Cartes. We have Rico Henry. You can play either left back or left wing back. It doesn't matter. I doubt that Rudolph will go with that three at the back. Must be Warner Brown. Warner Brown is where Warner Brown is at Mount Pleasant. Connor Boyce Clark. No, not Connor Boyce. I don't think Connor Boyce Clark is even in the 52. He's not in the 52. The goalkeepers we had were Blake, Waite, Hibbert, Chambers, Knight, and Adai. Corey Adai. Oh, I hear you. It says Mason Clark left wing, Gray right wing. Gray's not a right winger though. I think Gray's at a place on the right wing. I think Mason Clark should start on left wing. They got to figure out who goes on the right wing. I guess you put Bailey on the right wing. If he doesn't play well, you take him off. And I put Cameron Archer in the middle. I think you need speed to threaten. I think we'd have Ravel on the field. You need to get the ball up to the people who can play football. Or goal scorers and who have some speed. Mason Clark is quick. Cameron Archer is quick. And Bailey's Bailey. Six Love. Okay. Well, I think the only team that Jamaica has is Puerto Rico, isn't it? I watched Puerto Rico play the other day. I think they have players who play in Spain and players who play in the MLS next. So I think that's Jamaica's only competition to get to the next round. Yeah, I would agree with that, J. Russ. I would agree, but some people won't agree. Which Gray are you talking about? I didn't have Gray in my team. I think I made a mistake there. Now Gray's gonna be in the squad. I think I missed out on Gray actually. Why? Who did I put out for Gray? Oh, you know what? I was trying to balance out the team. Yeah, we'd have to figure that out. I forgot that I took Gray out I prefer Tyrese Campbell to Gray at this point, actually. So I don't know. We'll see. Okay. We'll see. It's subject to change. It's very fluid. It's a very fluid squad, given players' performances. There's some people bring up some players that I haven't looked at in a little bit. So I have to go research some of them, actually. Now when I go to transfer market and look up people's information, but I only looked up some of the new ones today. I didn't look up Daniel Johnson because he's an older player. I have Cephas in my squad because I figure if I'm in the 70, 88th minute and I need that burnout wide and I have Rebel can get in the ball, then I need that speed on the field. Yeah, Cephas coming. I would have Cephas in the squad. I'd have Cephas in the squad. Some people think he's an automatic starter. I don't think he is. I couldn't play Cephas over Ephraim Mason-Clark. Ephraim Mason-Clark, the last time I checked, had 7 goals and 6 assists, or 7 goals, 5 assists this season in 30 games. I couldn't play Cephas over him. He plays on the left. Now, you may say you want to play Cephas on the right, but then Bailey would have to be on the bench. It's going to be hard to have Bailey on the bench. And that's so speed would leave that down. Maybe Gray's off the bench, yeah. I mean, so who would Gray coming for, people? Because to me, Cutter Martin needs to be in the squad. So does Cameron Archer. Do you take Gray for Whisper? How do you do that? It may be they take out Whisper because Whisper not playing any portion of football. I have heard nothing about Greenwood, so I can't put him up there. I've got no information on Greenwood. But we'll see what happens. I have no Greenwood information. We'll see what happens with Greenwood. People. Stop it. We are playing against some people who can't play football, and we use it as a basis to judge the players. That's my challenge when it comes to Jamaica football. JPL or Caribbean under 20 or under 17. We have no basis to judge those players. You know what remind me of, people? Here's a good analogy. Cephas against Bermuda, or Whisper against Bermuda versus any other team in the World Cup qualifiers, Trinidad or Curacao. When you catch stops, you look like a genius, you know. When Cephas scored against Trinidad, we agree. That was only because we let him upfield one-on-one with the defender. Against Curacao in the last game, Cephas touched the ball 8 times. In fact, no, against Curacao and Trinidad, Cephas touched the ball 8 times in 2 games. And make about 3 passes. So you cannot, you cannot use those Cayman Islands and Turks and Caicos to judge anything. And you could still look, if you're 8, you could live with good games and team there. Them can't play football. Turks and Caicos, Bonnier, country that even knows they exist. And you talk about football and then use those players in those games, so they're better now, man. You have to see those players against better competition to then see how good they are. Them depend on competition. So we can't use that to judge anything. Are there players in the under 17, under 20 who could be the team? We don't know because they're not playing at the level to assess them in a manner to allow you to make an informed decision about whether or not they should be elevated to the national team. So we can't do that. Yes, Jamaica's still hoping to get Mason Greenwood, but it ain't happening. I'm not sure it's going to happen. Frankly, I don't think it's going to happen. Stop. What? That is my opinion. Well, don't post it then. If you put your opinion out in public domain, then you say it can be criticized. 876. Okay? It's your opinion. And I'm telling you, I'm critiquing your opinion. If you don't like it, then don't post it. So that we can't say anything about it. Okay, people in the chat, do you agree with 876? Like Cranky, shut up about it. By the way, Colin Quest, as usual, supporting the channel, Colin. Appreciate the donation, sir. Thanks a lot. Man, if you stop it, a theme opinion. I agree with your opinion, but you put it in the public domain, just let me tell you, Rudolph Speed them. If you want to run one national football program, you open yourself to criticism. Just like Cranky. If you want it on YouTube, he's open to criticism. If you don't want to be criticized, don't come. You have a chance to push back, so you push back. But you use the under 20 players that are playing against Turks and Caicos and say this player should be the national team. It's your opinion. Does he play JPL? Does he play in a senior league someplace to see him play to say he should be in the league? In the team? Nah, boy. Butterzone? No, the under 20 not playing nobody. Puerto Rico is the only team they will play in this round. By the way, you don't qualify for the World Cup in this round. You got to go to play the big boys after this. We're only here because we failed the last time. Right? We only did because we failed the last time. We failed miserably the last time. That's why we playing in this competition now. Remember the last time we get 15 love? Let's see what happens when we go and step up one level. Unlike the under 17 who play Canada, because we didn't only play one round or one set of games, this is different. Just different. Yeah, the under 20 wasn't impressive to me. I'm gonna be honest. The under 17, at least. Well, see, when you're under 17, the Jamaica team was so much bigger, stronger, so much physical. They overpowered the teams, but they didn't play good football. They physically overpowered Canada, for example. Defensively, they were solid, but everybody them get them kick with the ball. Play like all Cavaliers players, kick with the ball. Okay. Well, look, if he thinks he should be in the team, you know what, A76, he should be in the team. How about that? He's a brilliant kid. He looks good against Turk and Caicos. He looks good against Cayman Islands. He looked good against Bonnier. So he should be in the team. Should be in the Reggae Boyz national squad. Oh, Lord help us. I hate to beat you, A76, but if you come to them thing, the pan people thing, if you told me he played the JPL and he's dominating, and even that would be challenging, then yeah, but boy. All right, boy. All right, me almost at the 2 hour line. We have 9 more minutes left, people. 9 more minutes. If you want to call into the program, you have 9 minutes left. 9 minutes left. 9 minutes left. I'm going to hear from Pressa, you know. See, Pressa get hungry the other day, hungry. Can me say Rudolph may include locally based players, man, losing mind. And I realize that Rudolph is being a politician, which he doesn't really do well. We didn't score. Yeah, I know, right? I know. Interesting. But the under 20 is winning, so you know what? You can only play in for the year. Cranky, seriously, your thoughts on the quotas? Look, I think, you know, I've been accused of being divisive by a number of people in Jamaica. Maverick, Rudolph Speed, a number of people call me semi-divisive. And what I haven't heard is Maverick or Rudolph Speed come out in the public domain and chastise Roy Simpson for his divisive comments about Diaspora players. They have been silent. They have said nothing about it. In fact, Maverick seemed to even support it. Now, people call me divisive because I will say that I support fairness. I support an egalitarian system. I support all citizens of Jamaica having equal rights. And think about it. For those of you who have migrated from Jamaica, and it's a lot of you who have migrated from Jamaica, you see, if you will live in America, for example, you're a citizen. By the way, my nephew just got his passport today. I didn't know he's got his passport. You just get him citizenship. I don't think I've been as happy. I'm extremely happy he got it, actually. I'm probably more happy than anything he ever done in my career when he got his citizenship. Trust me, he get it today. I'll surprise him tonight as soon as we get out of this channel. Because then he can travel without worry about the Komakai country. But anyway, if you're in the US, you're in England, and you migrate and get a citizenship, how would you like if the US say, you know what, hey, Cranky, or a man of God, or a Juras, we give you citizenship, but you know what, you're not entitled to certain things. Only the people who are born here are entitled to certain things. We can't get to you. Now in the US, you can only be president if you're born in the US, right? I think Jamaica changed them law about that. Jamaica didn't have that. That's why people like Siaga became prime minister. So how would you want two-tier system whereby you're a citizen, but you're not entitled to all rights and privileges, even though the country and its constitution say you should? That's what the quota system is, you know. It's illegal. It's unconstitutional, and it's inappropriate, and it's unfair. It's not debatable. It is. They're citizens. They're entitled to all rights and privileges afforded a Jamaican who's a citizen. So this thing with the JFF is done because nobody has really challenged it. I don't know what FIFA's perspective, but I don't trust FIFA for anything. FIFA has always been a corrupt organization. They say they have improved, they have gotten rid of the corruption. So them say. The only reason why some people at FIFA never get locked up because then they bank in America, then bank Africa, they bank Europe. They didn't come to the US banking system, so they got caught away. Everybody like Jack One who came to the system, almost every single one of them, the one who run CONCACAF, Jack One, all of them, even somebody from Jamaica got caught up in the whole thing. So it's unfair for those kids who have aspirations to play for Jamaica not being given enough fear opportunity to do so. But look at JFF is moving where Rod Simpson suggests, which is all the coaches are local. I have no problem with coaches being local if they're good enough. I have no problem with that. In fact, I think you should have local coaches to coach a national team. You're going to pay some person who look like you millions of dollars to do it. Right? You know, England now get Tuchel, a German, to come coach the England team. Really interesting. You know, if you know the issue between Germany and England, Churchill must be rolling over his grave. But anyway. So the quota system is in full effect. In fact, it's gotten worse. Now they're bringing in more US youth from the US. And I think you'll have more youth from the US play for Jamaica going forward than in England. Because we're 2-3 generations removed. So you can understand that. The more generations you have, the connection becomes further and further. But if you watch somebody like Robbie Lyle on AFTV, whether how he speaks, what he wears, you can't tell it's a Robbie Lyle on a Jamaican. Every day, Robbie will drop some Jamaican lingo and wear Jamaica colors. The man live and breathe Jamaica 20. Them probably live and breathe Jamaica. They never realize they live and breathe Jamaica 24/7. Go watch his channel. He might always talk some Jamaican saying or comment or whatever it is, and even his staff get used to the lingo. And he might wear colors which say Jamaican. Because those kids grew up in Jamaica also. When people leave Jamaica, they don't just drop Jamaica behind them. No, they bring it with them. They bring their culture with them. So it's very frustrating to be always preaching this whole thing where people like Maverick, who are just like assholes, who continually are fighting against people who want to be part of the culture, who belong as part of the culture, who have the requirements and the credentials and what's the prerequisites part of the culture, and they're being denied. Makes no sense. I'm glad to see Rudolph Field coming around more and more to embracing the diaspora, but it's a little bit convenient for him to do so, given Spree's perspective on this. It shouldn't be that we're denying kids and denying players who have aspirations to play for Jamaica, some who feel unappreciated in their country, that they're born in, that they shouldn't be playing when they qualify to play. It's ridiculous. And maybe it should be a lawsuit be brought out to end this quota system. But it is what it is. It's there, and it works for Jamaica. And some people, they stamp it on their chest. They embrace it. It's everything to them. The U17 is balanced. U20, well, it's balanced in terms of they having more American players. They're not pursuing English players. I think they have one English player. I think one English player got injured, was sent back. I think they have one in the team now. I haven't really followed the U20 because I don't follow quota-based teams. So once in a while I watch a game, somebody bring it up to me. I'm not watching quota-based teams. And even the national team may have inkling of quota, but it's much less than the junior teams. Now the women's teams is a bit different because we don't have the volume of women players to pull from, so we'll allow a non-quota system per se for the women's team. But for the men's team, at least for the junior team, it's there. But anyway, we didn't come on to talk about quota this evening. Somebody brought it up, so I mentioned it. So what I say is this, is that the games are coming up fast, people. Next week is March. Next week is March. The first game is March 26th. The second game is March 31st. It's almost around the corner. I'm sure Rudolph has narrowed down his number of players to about a 35-man list. And he's probably trying to figure out what the best 26 or 23 is. Right? I'm sure that's the case. And my hope is that he'll pick the best players. People, if you haven't hit the like button, please do so. He'll pick the best players. We will have a good team. Now, here's a question for you in the chat. I should have drawn a poll on this. If we don't make the World Cup, but we played really well, we give a good account of ourselves, should Rudolph Speed remain the coach? Hey, Curtis, I'll be honest, I haven't been following this. I know Mount Pleasant is made the last 16, but I haven't followed it, so I can't comment on it. I'm sort of a football elitist, actually, which is bad sometimes. So maybe I'll spend more time thinking about some of these things, but I haven't really followed it. I know the women's team are recruiting. The women's team going to have some of the same recurring players, but there's a transition coming for the women's team. Yeah, transition coming. They're recruiting really, really well. I know they lost Hines, who went back to England. I don't think she's been capped yet, but that also is a problem because the reason why I think Jamaica lost Hines is how slow the process was with Pika. And if Rudolph Speed was involved, Hines may have gotten her citizenship and may have been a Jamaica player. So maybe Speed need to get more out. Maybe Speed don't know when can get things done. Maybe that's why I'm running the JFF. A Flash G is not going to be smoking this time of the evening. And or drinking, I should say. I don't know if you smoke. Stop drink. Not drink. We did what a lot of teams do nowadays, like the Lakers did last time. We won the mid-year cup. That's how the Emirates Cup. That's how we open. Anyway, I'm gonna close. People have been here 2 hours and I'm losing my voice. I'm gonna say this, which is I appreciate you being here. Hit the like button before you leave. I am a little bit more optimistic. So I gave us between 1% and 5% chance to qualify. Given the recruiting, I'm gonna ratchet up to about 10%. Now, that will only work if Rudolph picked the right 23 with no sense of loyalty and he's totally impartial and he's not feeling the pressure from some mad people like Maverick. Don't make nobody pressure you, Rudolph. Pick the best 23 you think will give you a chance to win because your reputation in the line. Now, you guys haven't answered this. Do you think Rudolph should remain in the post if he give a count of himself but doesn't win doesn't get to the World Cup? Dara said no, Speed should resign. Anybody else? Should he resign if Jamaica does make the World Cup, or should he stay on if he plays really well? The new recruits he came in did well, but we just didn't get over the line. Love to get your thoughts before I leave. Well, there's 2 answers already. None of them positive. I actually think if they do a good job, Speed gonna still coach a team if he wants to. That's my view. What do you mean? Speed is an international coach. Speed the coach against Martinique and Grenada. What are you talking about, DJ Gigs? Can't tell you not coach international game now. J. Ross said if he failed, he should leave. But he failed already. Yeah, I think Lati Colin Quest has to be a starter for Jamaica. The reason why I like Lati there is because he's comfortable on the ball and he reads the game really well. I think Lati has to start at center back. Yeah. There's no one here saying Speed should stay on. Damn. Now ask no more question. Everybody else say he should go. Well, that's up to the JFF if he stays on or go. Because Jamaica, if Jamaica doesn't make the World Cup, enough money them losing. It's kind of hard to believe that Curacao go World Cup and Jamaica not go World Cup. Ratted. It's hard to digest, people. I tell the truth. You go burn Jamaica when we see Curacao World Cup or win the World Cup. You better qualify. Speedy better qualify the team. They gave you a job to do when you select the wrong coach. And we got the bad outcome. Yeah, I think the football, here's what I don't understand. So we keep talking about the coaching program in Jamaica and how the coaches have improved and how much license we have. But I don't see where the football on the field is improving. Even though the junior team are beating up some little Bush League people, the football not improve. We're not seeing no pattern of play. I hear the new technical director talk theoretically good football, but practically I'm not seeing the good football. We can talk theory all we want, but how do you effectuate that? How do you put it on the field of play and we can see it with our eyes? The optics are there. Players are playing. They can control the ball. They move the space. They can pass the ball. They're covering gaps. They know how to press. We're not seeing that when they're playing football. At least for the junior teams, I'm not seeing that. Now, maybe I don't watch them enough. I did watch it in a 17, and I watch part of the under-20 games. So maybe when I watch a JPL, I'm not seeing that standard of football that says coaching is making a difference. And I know people can get excited about the under-17 making the World Cup. I'm sorry, it sounds critical, but yeah, they beat Canada, but I didn't walk away feeling good about the football. Nobody said Brooks and N11, not including Pinnock, Whisper, Bowser, DJ, Ravel, Low. I don't have Low in there. I have Ravel. I had DJ, but I may have to take DJ out. I think Bowser may not be included. You're probably right. Whisper. Who do I have on there? Did I have Bowser? I don't think I have Bowser. I know. Yeah, I had Bowser on there. I could see Bowser out, Dujan, Whisper out, and you're bringing Damari Gray. There are a lot of other players you could bring in. The fitness of the players is part of his criteria, J. Ross. So let's hope he sticks to it. Well, that is true. The only positive speed is that he made himself acceptable to the bloggers, but listening to him speak, he sounds like a Gino. Nah, he's articulate. He comes across okay. He can speak English. He comes across okay. But when I challenge him on something that he says, he gets upset. I don't know why he's getting upset. Because you're going to sit on the people's platform and tell the world, so, I want if arguments to get that. I wanted somebody should say, you know what, somebody should take arguments and get arguments. That's what I'm saying. Him say arguments, they make arguments sound like a little spoiled kid. Him leave because he lose a game. Arguments seems like grown up. That's very dismissive, actually. Somebody leave because they lose a game. That makes him sound like he's unintelligent. Yes, I did have Rispa there over Gray. I'm a politician. Man say Ravel is too slow. I don't know if Ravel walk backwards, him can still make Jamaica team better than the midfield of them. Even Ravel up and him rocking chair better than all of them. But no, the team is subject to change people. Like, I wouldn't have Holgate and Ian Frey here because I don't think I'd bring either of them, frankly, to be honest. I don't have a right back. I wouldn't have Pinnock here. I don't have Low. People say Daniel Johnson not playing in the football, so maybe we change him. Lewis Baker, I know, has been injured. We take him out because he's not playing in the football. Dujan Whisper, Shamar Nicholson, we could remove those. But the rest of the players are there. At 26, you know. You only need 23. No, I think Latti, look, players who are informed defensively, Latti and Rico Henry are informed. Right? I'm not going to say Freckleton and King. I mean, Latti and Rico Henry. We need a right back. And the question is it King, is it Freckleton, or somebody else? Partner and Latti. To me, Latti is an automatic starter. Latti is an automatic starter. To me, Latti is Blake in goal, Rico Henry at left back, lock. Latti and two other defenders. You can figure that out. To me, Isaac and Andre Brooks are lock. We need another midfielder. And up front, Ethan Mason Clark, to me, is a lock. I think for a lot of people, Bale will be a lock, but that's a challenge. I mean, the center forward is that Cameron Archer, is that Bale Canamarty? I don't know yet. Yeah, but Bale can't start over Rico Henry. So they should put Bale at left back, at centre back, and then put Latimer beside him. Kind of two short people. Gray's about 6 foot or 5'10", whatever. Not the biggest pair of center halves. That makes it challenging on set pieces, right? This is my makeup squad, people. My makeup squad, right? That's nobody's squad. My makeup squad. We just put a squad together. I just put a squad to see if could have been quick, but the squad is subject to change. This is my squad. Now, if I was to change my squad, I probably wouldn't have Shamar. I probably may not have Whisper. I probably wouldn't have Lewis Baker. And I probably, give him real information again, don't have Daniel Johnson. I probably don't have Ian Frey, and I probably don't have Mason Holgate. But we only need 11 starters and people. We don't need 26 people. I do think we need a right back. Cyrus Rudolph never recruited a right back. We need a right back. Yeah, I'm a Ravel fan, so I'm not going to knock Ravel. Even Ravel not playing on football. I'm not going to knock Ravel. But it's my makeup squad. I don't do with JFF. JFF are them 50-something people, you know. This is JFF 52-man squad, people. Let me take out this. This is JFF 52-man squad. So the goalkeeper them, they had about 6 goalkeepers. They had about, let me blow this up a little bit. They had a lot of defenders. That's the list that they had. A lot of defenders. Max Aaron was on there. Max Aaron is not coming. Right? And then they had a lot of forwards. A lot of midfielders, sorry. I didn't have Russell in my squad. I didn't have Lambert. I didn't have Kara Anderson. I didn't have Nicola Ellis. I didn't have Tyrese Hall. I could put Tyrese Hall in there and replace anybody with Tyrese. Probably replace DJ with Tyrese. We haven't called DJ in forever. Maybe Tyrese would go in there. And then I would up front, it's all the players we have. Roman Burrell is injured. I don't know when he's coming back. But Burrell would be in the squad for me. But if Burrell returns, we could put Burrell in there along with another winger. Take out Nicholson. But people would lose their mind. Yeah, if you have local players, nice squad enough. You want people at Jamaica them go mad, especially the football aficionados. They're going to lose their mind. I don't think we're playing with 3 at the back, people. Well, he's in there. But anyway, people, let me close off by saying this. First of all, if you have not hit the like button, please do so. I want to appreciate you for being here. I have not done as many shows as I've done in the past. I've had some challenges, but probably doing more shows. But I'll be doing more shows across the 2 platforms. More videos on Balance View, and then Cranky Live is about sports. I'm supposed to do a program next week with before the game. We know as an academy in North Carolina, we're going to do some walkthrough of talking about coaching and what he does, and show you some excerpts of training he does and games they play, and at least his team can pass the ball. Lord. At least before the game, teams can pass the ball. Can't say the same for Jamaica football team at every level. Even the national team can't make 4 passes in a row. So that should be it, people. And I'll drop some more videos on other topics on the Balance View channel. Does Clarks and Brooks? I don't want to comment on these things, people. If I put somebody's name in there, I'm getting intelligence which suggests, right, that the players are going to be coming. But I want you guys to come back and say, see, Cranky said this man come in, come on, blah, blah, blah. I don't want to go through that. So if I have somebody on my list, people, that means Rudolph Speed is working his magic. That's all it means. And he's been working his magic. All right? Rudolph Speed are working magic, people. And his magic suggests he'd be getting some new players into the squad. And to me, all the players they're getting, most of them, if not all of them, are starters. Ephraim Mason Clark is a starter. Cameron Archer, to me, is going to be a starter. Brooks is definitely a starter. Freckleton up in the air, because he played beside King and St. Mary don't actually stop goals from scoring. You know, Freckleton score a few goals. So we'll see. But most of them are going to contribute. And then you have the whole recycled players who are coming through, who have been there before. All right? So thanks, everyone, for being here. I appreciate you being here. Have a wonderful weekend. Make sure you watch some Premier League football this weekend. Arsenal play Chelsea Sunday. If we lose, don't come beat me, because I don't like beat me, then we lose. But I do appreciate you, and I appreciate your time. Before you leave, here's the like button. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. And have a wonderful evening. Peace out, everyone. Bye for now.